Welcome to this evening's class. Continuation of what we stopped the other day. So far we've talked about how we can format our text, how we can use counts, count if, sum ifs, aggregate functions, and a couple of other interesting things, how to turn the data into a standard Excel table, how to apply filters, and a couple of other things. I'm just going to lay more emphasis on all the things that we've done, and then we're just going to continue from where we stopped. So the first thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to turn this into an Excel table, just like I said the other day. Ensure that there are no spaces in between, and then just make sure you are actively clicked in one of the cells. Go to Insert, go to Tables, and then click on here, and then this is the options available. Then you click on Table. So this gives you an array of the range of values that you have, and then you click OK. So now we have my table, and I can filter according to the values I want. So if I was interested in one of this, I could click on there, and I could also arrange my values in ascending and descending order, right? So if I wanted to arrange by value, I could also do that. Just click on, and then ascending and descending. So I could also find and create a custom search. Maybe I'm interested in only fruits. It should return all fruits for me. I'm interested in all pot plants, or all vegetable, or cut flowers. So I'm just gonna pick those ones, and voila, I have my result. So I could also have custom search if it's equals to something, not equal to, begins with, does not begin with, ends with, does not end with, contains, does not contain. So I can search around the entire data set if I want to. You can play around with that. But what I want to do now is I want to create a summary of my data. So what does that mean? I want Excel to summarize this entire data set for me. So how do I do that? I'm just going to go back to Insert also, go back to Table, and then click on Pivot Table right here. So when I click on Pivot Table, it tells me, do you want to create a summary of table 1? So this is the only table I have here, and I've not renamed it. I've told us how to rename the table. So if I wanted the pivot table to be created in this particular, in my current Excel sheet, I would use this existing sheet, and then I'll click where I want it to be created. But if I wanted it to be created in a new Excel sheet, because I want to have a clean data set here, and then I want to have my summary elsewhere, so I can click on here and then click OK. So this creates a new sheet for me, and then I can always edit this and play around with this. If I click on this pivot table now, I can change my pivot table name. I can change it to summary, and then I can then go ahead and start creating the summary of my data. And I'm just going to name this summary also. So you can see this box right here. This box right here, it signifies that my report is currently empty. And if I just click onto any part of the box, it will show me this right here, this pivot table fields. And immediately you would also see that I have pivot table analysis and design would come up. It's not showing at this side because I'm using a very large screen right now. But for you, you would see it just right at the top here. You see pivot table analyze, you see designs. So if I click onto pivot table analyze, I can change a couple of things here. I can refresh if I've made any changes to the table. I want to see the changes in my pivot table. I can come here and refresh, and I can also create a visualization from my pivot table. I can add slices, timers and stuff. If I go to design, I can change the look and feel of my summary data. Can make it look very amazing and stuff. So these are the values I want to work with. I have category, item, variety, date, price and unit. So we have fields right here. We have filter fields, columns, rows and values. So you generally put numeric value in values, but rows and columns can be categorical. So they can be fields that have character values. So if I wanted to get the variety and the column, or maybe the category and column, I'm just going to click on category, or I could just drag it down and put it in rows, and then drag price and then put it in values. So this is going to give me the same thing that you got for some ifs. The same result you got for some ifs is what I'm going to get here. So it's going to sum it if it's cut flowers, some if it's fruits, some if it's pot plants, some if it's vegetable. So this is the value I have. If I wanted to arrange that in order of maybe ascending or descending order, I'm just going to come right here and let's say filter A to Z, Z to A. Just going to say from smallest to largest. You can see now that my value has changed. So now this means the sum. If I wanted the average, I can change this sum to average. Just come click here, right click, and I'm just going to say my field settings. And if I wanted count if or average if or just count numbers, I can do that. So this is just going to sum all those values. This is going to count all those values. If I pick this is going to get the average of all the values. Going to return the minimum value, maximum value, the product and standard deviation and stuff. So if what you're looking to do is not a sum value, you might want to explore all the options you have right here. So you could also play around and put this in category. If you put that in category, you see that switches up to the column headers and then the row house of this. So I'm just gonna drag this here and I'm gonna pick one more field. I'm gonna pick variety. So if I just click variety, Excel will just add variety to anywhere it feels it should be added. But you can see now, if I didn't want it there, I could drag here. And now I'm having two fields in rows and column. In rows, you can see category and variety. And now these are now being categorized according to the category and the variety. So in pot plants, we have 13 centimeter, 9 centimeter, and this is the price, the sum. You have cut flowers, you have all variety, indoor spray and indoor, oriental, outdoor, pony, stock, sweet, Williams, tulips. And then you have other ones being categorized according to their category. So still from this data, we can see in real time the summary of my data set. I'm just going to drag this away so that I have small information that makes quite a bit sense. I'm just going to say copy because I want to duplicate this. And one way I could duplicate it is by coming here, recreating the entire process, insert table, pivot table, where do I want to put it, and then I fix it. Or I could just copy what I have here and paste it elsewhere. So this just recreates the entire thing. So all I just have to do is to change the fields. So for this now, I would say maybe the dates. All right. I want the dates. I'm just gonna say the dates. Just gonna bring that here. I'm gonna get rid of this category, and then I'm gonna get the units. So you can see in real time the dates. This is starting from the 3rd of November 2017, and then straight down to 2024. Okay, so we've sold 13,750 vegetables or fruits, pot plants, all of it together. So that's the count of what we've sold. So it's not going to be same with this because this one is the sum while this is the count. So I can also, duplicate this again, Ctrl C and paste elsewhere. So I want to create another one. Just going to revamp that also. Just going to say maybe item this time. And the unit price, right? So you can see the items individually, the unit price. So if I wanted to filter maybe by dates, I'm just going to click here and I'm just going to drag my date column to filters. So I can come right here now and filter the dates that I'm most interested in. So if I wanted to filter for 2017 only, just gonna pick all of 2017. So this shows me all the items that were sold in 2017. Just 375. So if you were more interested in filtering some products based on a particular category, then you might want to consider using filters. Okay, so other times if you wanted Excel to, you could also use the units. If you wanted Excel to create a summary table for you, just come right here to tables and then recommended pivot tables. So what recommended pivot table would do is that Excel will create a pivot table that if a summary of your table it feels you might want to be interested in. So Excel feels that I'll be more interested in seeing the category, the item, and the units, and this is the order in which it is placed it. But let's say I don't like this and I like it this way, or maybe I just want it to be like this. I can rearrange it, right? But it makes sense this way because this gives me more detailed value of what I'm looking for. So it's better off than the other one that was scanty. So if you want to have Excel create, this pivot table for you, you could click on recommended pivot table. Or if you want to, create it yourself, you might want to create just pivot table and then refactor the whole thing to suit the purpose you want to use it for.